Oh, what's up? Hey guys, I'm in the wood line. You like that? That's pretty cheesy. I like it. I'm gonna go with it. Look, I'm back here in the woods. Ignore the cars and the highway behind you. I'm in the middle of nowhere, off grid, in the backwoods of Prescott, Arizona. High pine, 6,000 feet and above. And I wanted to talk to you guys about light tactics. Can we do that, Austin? Like light tactics. Because I think a lot of people put lights on the rigs, but they don't know why. Maybe they see a rig in town and it's daylight and it has a smiley face, KC highlights, looks cool. They watch Back to the Future Part 1, Part 2, or Part 3. But Part 1 had the KC highlights on the Toyota. Looked real cool. So they go, I want to do that. And they never take off the smiley face cover and use the lights because they don't know how or what the application potentially would be. So today on our YouTube channel, the Fieldcraft Survival channel, that you just subscribed to because you love this so much, we're going to be talking about light tactics. So here we go. All right, guys, so let's talk about the application of attaching lights to your vehicle. One, you have to consider you're going to use more power. That's just common sense, right? You hook in power, it requires power, it's sucking and drawing power from the battery. And so you're going to have a decent battery setup in order to facilitate a light setup on your rig. Couple lights, fogs, no big deal. But you start adding lights, full spectrum like I have, man, I love using that word, full spectrum. Full spectrum around your rig, you're gonna have to consider that. Another thing that you have to consider is how you're gonna consolidate the wiring harness of bird nest that is going to exist. Man, I'm all over today. Going to exist because you have everything tied into one control unit, and you need to get organized. I personally use the Switch Pro that's inside of my rig where everything is consolidated, nice and neat. I'll show you that stuff later. But let's talk about the lights that I have on this particular rig, which is the Go rig. I always wish there's like graphics when I do stuff like that, like the Donut Media guys, but you know, we don't have a budget, so we'll just go with whatever you want to do, Austin, no pressure. So we look at this light system. This is the Flex Adapt light system. And I don't know if it's Adapt, I just maybe made that up. I know it's definitely called the Flex. What's cool about it is it's modular and it comes in packets of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 3 sets of 5 up here. Super bright, probably annoying to you. But the cool thing about this adaptive system is you could put it wherever you want. It's clean, consolidated, and it's LED technology at its best. When I was going overseas in the overlanding space in the middle of Afghanistan back in the day, man, we used like light bulbs attached to glass and pretty fragile, not a lot of light. Thank God we had night vision goggles because we didn't get any advantage rolling around with lights on when the enemy combatants were looking for us. Not the ideal tactic. But the tactics in the civilian space vary. One of the things you have to consider is if you're in the back country because you're trying to get off grid, then you want to get away from people. So maybe you don't want to illuminate your battle starship mobility rig where everybody can see you coming from a mile away. So you might want to reduce your signature. Well, you might want to be more situationally aware based on where you're going. In the back country of high desert, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, even parts of California, you run the risk of running into a lot of hazards and obstacles. Elk, deer, people, rocks, cliffs, inclement weather. When I was in Ouray, driving from Silverton to Ouray, man, you're talking about some sketchy terrain. We're talking California Pass, Poughkeepsie Gap, some of the most dangerous terrain you could be in the US. If you're doing that at night, you want to illuminate the area and space around you. That's just bottom line. Wow, that's not me, I promise. Hope the mic's not picking that up. I'm a little gassy. So I run Baja Design lights, fogs up here. Like I'm a loyal customer of KC Highlights. But that doesn't mean I exclusively use one specific light. I think there's a myriad of different lights you could use for different function. Baja Designs up in the Fab 4 bumper. the flex lights up in the front end. Now, if I had a car, I'd be running one pod. A big truck like this, I want to get more area and space. I mean, if you could even look at the area of light it's casting, that tells you a lot about what the light's doing. You imagine you cut that down to one pod of 5, and I'm going to reduce my light pattern by a third. So where I'm going, I need to have the light not only wide, but also with distance to see ahead. Now, there is some options that you could use to cut through the dust. I mean, you can even see the dust right now. It's not dusty where I'm at because we're not driving, but there's dust flying in front of this light. When you're driving in dust and you have bright white luminescent lights, it's going to reflect off the dust and create a wall of obstruction, and it's going to blind you. So you need something like amber to cut through that dust, to be able to penetrate it, to see it. Yes, penetrate the dust. Wow, that got weird. All right, so moving on and further back, one of the most important things that I utilize in my light system is Casey highlights rock lights. Now, there's different names for them, rock lights, Wilwell lights. What I like about these is they make my tires look really cool, and that's it. Just kidding. What they really do is give you a view of the world around your tire, because if you run into a circumstance where you can't see on the edges because of dark terrain and you don't have these rock lights, well, guess what? You just hit obstacles. You hit rocks, you hit boulders, you come off potentially into low ground, even off a cliff. That's worst case scenario. But the reason you want to be able to see here is when you look out your window and your passenger is spotting you, if you don't have the light capability to look down in front of your tire, you're not going to see anything. It's just a big, dark blob of vastness. There's something there. Graphics. This is going to be graphic heavy in this video. So I have them here. You know, when I drop these little guys, I do have lights so I could see myself stepping up. Again, it's all about visibility. I want to see where I'm going. The coolest light setup that I have here is this block light, which goes off typically off the back of the vehicle. Now here is why I did this different. You know, this is a AT Overland. Big shout out to Adventure Trailers Overland. They make the Summit, which is this version, not to be confused with Summit Custom Off-Roads, which is our shop here in Prescott, Arizona. But this is the Summit model that's a camper. I could set up this camper 3 seconds, click, click, push, it's set up. But when I'm backing up into a camping site, I want to be able to see off the ends of my big truck. I mean, right here, it casts a light here. A lot of people put these lights on the back end of their truck. And sometimes that works, but sometimes it doesn't. When you have something like this obscuring your view, you don't want it placed here where you're only catching a little angle of that light. I want it here. So I'm casting the shadow this way so I can see the obstacles off the angle off my truck this way as well as over here, right? It's not just about the things that are directly behind you. It's also about the things that are off an angle. You know, one of the most uncomfortable things you could ever do is get this in rocky terrain, which exist all around us, and not have it leveled. So I want to get somewhere level off the bat, but also I want to be able to back up and identify obstacles along the way. So super important to be able to do this. I have the rock lights in the rear fender well, which provide a casted shadow along the back ends as well. And then look, you have these little backup lights in the rear of your tail lights. That's enough to cast some lume backwards. But this is just the added support. What else is this? Look, man, when I camp, I'm cozy. I'm drinking a beer, sitting in a chair, relaxing. And if I'm doing that, I want to see where I'm at. I might even set up camp on this side of my truck so I could see what's going on. You know, I run headlamps. I'm a big fan of multiple redundant systems. Headlamps, handhelds, the list goes on. But I want a light coming off the side of my vehicle. Like if you look at any Sprinter van or RV, they do have those lights because it's appropriate, right? It allows you to cast a shadow here to be able to do camping activities. We're gonna do something with that, Austin? No? Okay.
Yeah, we'll just...
Okay. All right, so one thing I glossed over because I'm saving the best for last is the Gravity Pro 6 light bar. Not only is it the most beautiful light bar on the market, it's aggressive, maybe obnoxious a little bit. It's big, right? There's a lot of lights. But what I love about the technology here is it is utilizing the space in the bezel to amplify the light, and that's important. You know, if that was just a standard bulb, LED or just halogen, it wouldn't project a lot of light. You need the reflection of that bulb bezel to be able to magnify that light, and it definitely does that. I don't even want to turn it on right now because you'd be blinded by the light. That's a song. So, Gravity Pro 6. Now, why the heck would I have, I'm trying to cut down on my cussing on these videos. Typically, I would have dropped 7 F-bombs by now, 7.2 F-bombs. But you know what? Fieldcraft Survival's growing up. We want to get into mainstream, be appropriate for kids and young adults that, don't want to hear a lot of F-bombs. So we're going to calm down on it. Calm down on it. Why would I want 2 fucking lights? So when I look at these lights, I got an Adapt bar and I got the Gravity Pro 6. So here's the thing. I want layers of light. When you're driving in a big pickup truck like this that has a 14-inch lift, I mean, that's grotesque, but this has a Baja Chase truck lift from Pure Performance. I want to be able to see in front, meaning over the top of my hood and on the ground, which is perfect placement for this, right? Because it puts it out here. Notice how the light doesn't start to hit the ground to here, which is where I'm looking. A right person installing your lights will look at this. They won't just throw them up on a piece of hardware on your rig. They're going to project the lights where they need to be. And if that includes spacers, adapters, and maneuvering the lights, that's the right setup. But look, I got this right here. Now, let me start my truck, and I'm gonna show you why it's important to have a top light as well as a bottom one. Just pay attention to the stream of light and how far I get with just this light bar, and then I wanna pop it into the Gravity Pro 6. Now I know it's hard to hear me speaking over my large, massive, obnoxious pickup truck. That's a diesel 6.7 Cummins, no big deal. It's made in America. I don't think it is. I think it's made in Japan. So if you look right now, what I'm getting is the tree line. And so what I'm gonna do while Austin's filming this, I'm gonna cut off the Gravity Pro 6 so you see what I gain. We'll have the B-roll too, it'll be sexy. Man, that was overwhelming. So the reason I did that is because I wanted to show you what you're going to see beyond the lights in front of you. Remember, obstacles when you're going fast off-road, even when you're going slow, come really fast. What? So when you're driving and you're hauling butt down a dirt road, if you can't penetrate the dust, the dirt behind somebody, or just driving out as lead Trailmaster, you're not going to be able to see far away. I like to project my lights 100 yards in front of me, but also have dense LED lights shining down at the ground in front of me. This is going to allow you to see those ruts and those obstacles like potholes and the things that I want to avoid. And then shining up the light is going to allow me to identify potential dangers and hazards that are coming from farther away. Hey, I see a herd of elk that are on the right side of the road and I'm going 50 miles an hour. Well, I got 100 yards. Might want to slow down, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this off by showing you the modular adaptive system that brings it all together. That's that Switch Pro I was talking about. There's a couple other good companies that do it, but I'm also going to get you in the back of my truck, and I don't mean like the behind the tailgate, like the back of the bed, like behind me or right next to me, and show you what it looks like from my perspective and what the advantages are. So let's check out the Switch Pro. Switch Pro. You probably can't see it too well in the dark. But what I like about this system, right, I have my EFI Live, 5 settings of awesomeness. I have my Titan fuel tank to allow me to keep in the awesome with 30 gallons of additional fuel. And then I have all my awesome things labeled. Like it literally says awesome on the sticker. You can't see that, but trust me on that. It says awesome. You push that button and it boosts you with nitrous oxide. That's a lie. But it has an air compressor. I can push that when the car's on and I get the air compressor. It has my rock lights, my light bar, my fog lights, and my Gravity Pro 6. Consolidating all this stuff is not only good for wire management, but also for consolidating power. If you get wires all over the place and it's not properly grounded or not properly taking in power, you're going to run into issues. I recommend using a Switch Pro or an S-Pod or whatever you want to use. Just use something squared away. All right, so you ready? All right, let's get on the road. Let's do it. All right, so I'm in the vehicle right now, obviously. What? Sure. That's my seatbelt warning. I abide by the law. I'm in here right now. I'm going to show you the reason why you have to think about tactics when utilizing lights. You don't just want to throw lights on your vehicle and not understand the practice and when you're going to use them. You don't want to be Starship Galactic driving around looking like Star Wars. Did I confuse 2 different things? I think it's 2 different things. So the first thing I want to show you is my rock lights, and you're going to have to get over here a little bit and look over my shoulder. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to back up, and I have some obstacles here, and I'm going to get near this obstacle. And it's not the best example because the rocks are gray. But if you look right here, you can see right there's a big rock. That's an obstacle. Now, if it was completely dark, we're doing this in twilight so we could actually see on the camera. I imagine I can't see that because it's dark. Well, here's all I have to do is, well, bam. Look how bright that is. Right now I can identify all the obstacles around my wheel well using my rock lights. That's all I've used. So go ahead and look at it again and then watch this. No lights. Bam, you're blind, you can't see. That's dark. So dark. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is, that was the rock light so you could see the example. I'm gonna drive somewhere where you could see a longer shot of the lights. So let's roll out. Okay, here's a perfect example of this. Now, you can see out here in front of me. Now, this is twilight, so it's not completely dark, but imagine, use your imagination, I can't see down into this gully. I don't even know there's an elevation change. Well, let's just hit the first set of lights, which is my light bar, right? Bam. Look how much depth I get. Now, I will tell you that that's about 50 yards looking down past that. It's half a football field. Bam. No lights, right? Lights all the way down. Now, that is my light bar. That's the flex, right? I have 3 sets of 5. Now let's drive down to a position where you can see the benefit of adding the top lights, the Gravity Pro 6. Remember, all this is KC highlights. If you guys are interested in KC highlights, you guys could use Fieldcraft, one word, and save, I think it's 15%. 15%. That's a lot off. Look, I would never push anything to you guys that I don't trust. I trust Ali, Alan, the great people at KC Highlights. I wouldn't be recommending them or using them or even talking about them if I didn't love the company. So now I'm on a back road. This is the road leading out. Oh, look at these cool rocks right here. It's beautiful, man. Never noticed those coming from this angle. You know why I could notice them? Because I have lights on my truck. All right, so I'm gonna take it out 4-wheel drive. So now, okay, I'm gonna run no light bar, right? So this is the light bar. And now you can see, because we got a broader field of view. That's 300 yards. I mean, that's a long way down. Now I'm gonna hit wha-bam, wha-bam, wha-bam. It's almost scary because it illuminates everything in my field of view, right? Everything. So it's pretty scary because there's so much light. It's so bright. I can't see. I need sunglasses. All right, so I'm going up here. this corner and I can't see it, hit the lights. Now I can see everything on and around the corner. I've also just blinded 5 pedestrians that just walked into a ditch. You can see that. Bam. Super advantageous, right? So let's get to a position right here, my favorite little park area. I can't tell you where this is at because it's classified. It's off Senator Highway. Bam, I'm pulling into a parking lot. Now, I don't want to blind the people here, the good people of Prescott. Turn on my normal lights, which, oh my God. Normal lights compared to these lights, scary. So I'm here. With normal lights, you can't see the people making out in that Subaru. But with KC highlights, you definitely can. So now here, look, imagine this is my spot, right? I'm recce in this spot in front of me to park into that back area. So I'm gonna roll down Austin's window and let you see what it looks like when I go to back into this position. There's rocks, there's trees. I like this. This is like a tour guide light thing that you get. Okay, so I'm going to back up and I got regular lights and I can't see. I'm like, Jesus, Austin, move your big head. And it's like, no, I'm using the camera. So I can't see anything. Then I'm like, oh yeah, I got these rock lights. Let me try those. Oh, that's a little bit of light. Then I got the first ones. That looks like a whole lot of light. Let me cut that off just to show you. Right? Oh, you can't see it that good on that one. Go ahead, put it outside. Put it outside. So I'm here. I can see everything. So look, when I'm out and about, I want to have good light etiquette. You don't want to be that dickhead who's shining his lights in oncoming traffic. Remember, these lights are not SAE approved. I mean, you can't use them on the streets. There are lights that are SAE approved that you could use at any time. The Baja Design lights and my fog lights, you can do that. But what I recommend is you look at the lights that you want for off-road use only. You get one light bar low, you get one light bar high. You get amber filters. I don't have them on right now because I'm not doing driving in the dust. You have the ability to mount amber filters, which you could do that. And then I have the rock lights and then a light in the rear end. That's a full package. That's what's called full spectrum. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I think it's time to roll B-roll and a whole bunch of sexy stuff with lights on it. Or you want to get me burning out or something? Just kidding, I don't burn out, man, I'm old. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Look, I just want to educate you. I don't have the long form version. We could spend hours on this. I want to educate you and provide you with an overview of what you should be thinking about when thinking about tactics in any realm. Tactical gunfighting and self-defense, tactics and small unit tactics when doing 1 man, 2 man, or 3 people CQB, and mobility applications including lights. KC Highlights is a partner for Fieldcraft Survival, but also they're one of the best light manufacturers on the planet. You guys could save 15% using Fieldcraft at checkout on kchighlights.com. It's KCHILITES.com. If you like what you see, guys, subscribe. 75% of the people who watch this channel aren't subscribed. No big deal. I don't hold that against you, but if you can, just hit the subscribe button and make sure you tune in to all the Fieldcraft channels, including the podcast, including the social media on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the list goes on. Guys, I appreciate you. Until next time, stay alert, stay alive.